In France, some churches over the weekend commemorated the anniversary of King Louis XVI's death under the guillotine. It was a meaningful moment for those who fondly remember the king's reign, along with old ways and traditions that disappeared with him. NTD's France correspondent David Vives has the story.
Here's where it happened 230 years ago. At the Place de la Concorde in Paris, King Louis XVI was beheaded by French revolutionaries. The king's wife, Marie-Antoinette, was killed 10 months later, and only one of their 4 children lived to adulthood. Some descendants of the king's family members showed up on this cold morning to honor their ancestor. Joël de Montredon says the execution was an upsetting moment.
We hope many people keep his memory in their hearts and will transmit the glory and the benevolence of this king to their children and families until the end of times. I think he has been killed because he was too good, too Christian.
Many churches and cathedrals over the weekend held events to commemorate the king's death. In this Parisian church, many Parisians attended the Mass. Louis XVI, as the other French kings before him, had a special place in people's hearts. Some French still mourn the king's reign. For Noah Legendre, the death of the French king and the end of the monarchy was a great loss. He says he regrets the disappearance of virtue and traditions that marked the reigns of Louis XVI.
When you are led by God or Jesus, well, you are blessed in your life. And when these figures are reincarnated in French royalty, you are also inspired to do good things, to be good. And that's part of what has kept France going for 1,000 years. Now, the modern worldview has led us to lose ourselves for 250 years. We have been only going downward. We forgot everything from the past. And with every new thing that's created, we have dismantled the moral order.
The beheading of the king was followed by many more. Figures show that almost 40,000 people were sentenced to death by the Revolutionary Tribunal in only 2 years, during a period called the Reign of Terror. The revolution and the terror that followed are considered one of the most barbaric periods of French history. Some French consider the killing of the king as a crime against heaven.
The king was sacred. He was anointed by an archbishop. I mean, the king was not a mere citizen, just placed above others. He had a religious function. He was, in fact, of the supreme authority, just below God. From the moment the king's head was cut off, the function was desecrated. And it's truly a sacrilege, from a religious point of view, that's for sure. And the revolutionaries understood it that way.
According to historian Marion Sigaud, the main cause of the king's demise was exploding national debt. She says Louis was advised to take decisions that would bring starvation to parts of the French people without realizing it. The philosophical and anti-religious movement de Lumière, which turned against traditional values, also caused the king's demise in the French hearts.
The people regarded him as their loving father. The king lost his head during the Age of Enlightenment. He lost it in the hearts of the French before he lost it on the guillotine. When the king arrived at the guillotine, he no longer had any power.
David Vives, NTD News, Paris.